Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Basketball, Body, and Mind. Today, we will talk with Lukas Leskauskas, and during the call, we talked about what we think young players need to do more of in order to get more minutes on the court. We talked a lot about differences when training for vertical jump and first step, and also some exercises that you could do in order to improve one or the other. Also, we talked about attitude and what attitude means. He will share at the end. So listen up and enjoy the talk. As I mentioned, our guest is Lukas Leskauskas, and he is a strength and conditioning coach currently working as a strength and conditioning coach in Belgium. He has worked in Romania also, but since he is from Lithuania, he also has worked a few years in Lithuanian in second and in the highest leagues. And the last but not least, he was the head strength coach for Lithuanian under 20 national team last summer that they won second place in Europe. So congratulations once again and welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot. I have a big pleasure to be here. Hi everyone who is listening, and I hope we're gonna have a good time here.
Definitely, yes. Thank you very much. It's pleasure is mine. But listen, how did you celebrate the win with the team?
Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. We went to a restaurant. Okay, we had a dinner. We stayed together because next day we had a trip back home. So nothing crazy was there.
Okay, maybe I need to ask not the coach, but the players. How did they celebrate the second place?
Probably because at the beginning we was together. Then coaches went. Players went somewhere. And that's the story that they should tell,
Yes, but it's not for us to know. I think they want to keep it for themselves. But funny thing, when you guys played, you had at least this is what it looked like. You had high expectations, as always, high expectations, but you did not do well in group phase. And everyone was, my God, this is bad. How it can be. We lost against, I don't remember exactly who you guys lost, but that people were down. But it didn't show anything. It just kept on going. So tell a little bit, what was the feeling inside when you had those expectations and you're not kind of succeeding, quote unquote, but eventually everything ended up well?
So we spoke with coaches, with players that our main goal is to be at the top, peak performance on the quarterfinals. That's what happened for us, So we were building up through the group phase. So we didn't show any panic or something, We were building up, and everything worked fine.
So you think that you had no panic? You felt everything was under control, even though you were losing?
I mean, the results shows that, but we were building up, as I said,
Mm-hmm.
We spoke with players as well, do not react to any surroundings around yourself, any social media or whatever, we just keep building. We have our structure, our system that basketball coaches brought in, and we were building up, and
Yes.
we went. And
Yes, I mean, it's lucky you and unlucky other national team. I don't remember, was it 18, under 18 or something, or 17, maybe 18, but they won everything. And they were at the preparation, they were winning everything. Then in the group phase, they were winning like France, Spain. They won against, I think, Italy also, like in the preparation, building up to the championship. And then eventually they lost at the top 16, and just shows how different it is. And it's not only, I believe, it's also luck involved in everything, but it shows that group phase means nothing. You just need to perform in the when it matters the most.
yeah, the structure of the championship is ruthless. You can do everything in the group phase because all the teams are moving up, and it doesn't matter, one game can change everything, and your the whole summer work goes out, through the door like this.
Yes.
That's true.
Okay, so what I would like to talk today with you is two main kind of topics or areas. And one is just in general, your approach when it comes to strength and conditioning for basketball. And then second topic, a little bit broader, about vertical jump, first step, quickness is something that most of the basketball players would like to. How does that sound for you?
Let's try. Let's try.
Let's do it. Let's don't try. Let's do it. But so when we are talking about designing training program for basketball player, and let's assume he is not professional, he is 16 to 19 years old. He has been playing basketball for 5 maybe years, and he knows a little bit of that. He has been going to the weight room a little bit, like maybe 1, 2 times a week, not too consistent and not too long. But what would be things you would do with him when designing the program?
If, for example, if I go one-on-one with this, let's say, basketball player, first of all, I would like to go through the basics of everything, to check how he moves, what he knows, what he doesn't know, how we can structure the program, and check his current level of experience in, for example, weight room. So that would be my first point. So let's say we start with that, and then we're building up, creating.
Probably depending on the goals of that player, like creating the program, if he needs, let's say, mass, or if he needs a vertical jump that we will talk later. So yes, 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 I agree. What would
Yeah.
be other things that you would pay attention to?
For me, important thing is when the athlete comes to me, it's like his injury history.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If he had those or he didn't, that's a big point on creating a program. So to pay more attention if he had some problems, for example, with knee or ankles, to pay more attention around these areas. And then it's just, building up the work and doing what we can do the best, going through workout by workout, week by week, talking with the player itself, you know, checking if everything works. Maybe somewhere he doesn't feel good on some different type of exercises, then to check, manage that.
Yes, yes. And now when you are working in professional club,
Yes.
you have also younger players, those like, I don't know if you have 16, but let's say 16 to 19 years old, those who needs to develop, but also you have those older ones. So how does the program differ? How is it different for those younger players compared to the elders?
Okay, if let's say, let's talk first about the main guys, the main team guys, senior team guys. So my main approach on that is to do with them everything they need, and they here to play basketball for a living. The main goal is for them. They're already at this stage, at the professional basketball stage. So main goal is to play basketball. And my role is, okay. We do the base, what we need, and that's it. We move on the court, because basketball is the main thing. If we talk about the young guys, they have more time. Okay, it depends on the school and everything. They have more time. They need to build up because they are still not professionals. They have bigger capacity, let's say. They have more time, and they need to build up. So we do more.
You mean like hypertrophy? Like they do more repetitions, they do more exercises. What do they do more of?
The hypertrophy as well. Okay, we do plyometrics. We do just more and more exercises because they have bigger capacity, and they are not tired of a lot of things. They are young bodies.
Yes. We can throw many exercises and see what sticks. Maybe like, it's funny because it's not that I really think that we need to do that significantly more. However, when I was like starting to work a little bit more, I would say when I started to work full time, I will say this. I met one coach right now, he's working in NBA, and he said to me, Stan, those players, they have only chance, not all, but those young players where I was, most of them had only one chance. And for them to move professionally, like that chance to move professionally was to get so strong or so big that they will maximize their chances only that way, because if someone is already at the high level at age 18, maybe they're super skilled or shooting like crazy, they will be already good and they will be already getting minutes and playing. But those who are not at that level yet, you need to push them so hard. It's funny to say, but I'm strength coach and I thought some of them are strong enough, and the basketball coach was saying, no, Stan, more, more. And I'm like, they're already shaking, doing like dumbbell presses, or their hands are shaking, and they say, add a little bit more. I'm like, no way. But trust me, it really worked for those. So I understand what
Yeah.
you are saying.
Yeah, so sometimes the talent is not here. So you need to prove yourself and make those steps up somehow, like choose a different approach, You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if the talent is not here, you can get strong, you can get athletic, and then maybe you will deserve a place at the high level.
Yes, exactly. And this is example that I used recently with one of the players that I work online with. And I said, listen, you are strong. That player said, you are strong. Look at the Shaquille O'Neal. He was not shooting 3-pointers. He was not shooting well from like outside. He was not shooting well free throws. He was like not so fast. Okay, at the beginning, he was super athletic, but later he was not even that fast. But he was dominating under the rim. And that's basically not the only one, but that's almost the only thing that he was doing. And he was superstar. I said, if you, let's say, lack a little bit of skills, lack a little bit of shooting, maybe you can develop another area to compensate. Because if you will be so strong that you can dominate under the basket, maybe you don't need to do other things that much. So that is, as you said, like different approaches to young players to find a way. If you're not so talented, maybe you need to go like a little bit different route.
That's true. That's true. And what I like right now during the season, our head coach, said that we need dogs. We need dogs on the court. So that's stuck in my head, and I like this.
Dogs mean that they would be fighting
Fighters, yeah, fighters.
fighters.
Tough, tough. Doesn't matter. Maybe talent is not here, but if you give the whole heart on the court, you will deserve, the
Yes.
minutes.
Yes, yes, yes. This is expected from young players. Even yesterday, I was watching, it's the lowest, let's say, national competition that is played throughout all Lithuania, but it's the lowest league. And I was talking to one young player. He said, why do I see rarely that young players are defending full court? Like, why is it that way? Like, why don't you train your defense skills at that level? Because when you will get to the highest level, your defense will be so much better. And I said, why don't you do that? And like, I don't know, coach never told us to do, but just do it for yourself. I don't think coach will be mad if you do full court press.
Of course not.
And now let's come back a little bit to the strength conditioning again and to the weight room. But what are your thoughts on the sport specific movements done in the weight room, or do you believe more in the general exercises done in the weight room for basketball players?
I believe more in general stuff. I would go like, okay, let's say 80-85% of general part, and leave that a bit for a specific part, because I believe that general stuff leads the way, builds the base, and leads the way up, and then you can implement some specific stuff on the weight room. But the main part, still stays the same, general lifting.
And I see a lot of, on your Instagram, a lot of exercises being performed also on the basketball court. Like you don't train people just in the weight room, as I see, but you also do a lot on the court. So why is that, and why is that important?
What I believe, we spoke with our coaches as well. We need better movers. If we call like this, to move better on the court. Okay, we can do a lot of stuff on the weight room, but still, it comes to all that movements. Let's say now specific movements. What we need on basketball part, all the lateral movements, all the stops, change of directions, everything. So we need to find for this type of stuff as well.
Yes, it's very important, and it's. I'm happy to see that. I mean, it's not only you, but very often it can be misconception that strength and conditioning coach is responsible maybe for warm-ups and then in the weight room. But there is so much more. I mean, a misconception coming from the head coaches of basketball. Maybe they had that experience and they think that on the court there is nothing the coach can do, like a strength coach can do, but there is so much. And your video shows like doing the movements that, for example, somebody needs to improve defense. You can teach them when to shuffle, when to crossover, or you can train the crossover. You can do a kind of defense drill that they have to defend. And yes, it is strength. Maybe it's not strength conditioning, it's that performance that we all are about. But yes, I just wanted to say that great videos. If somebody has not seen your Instagram, they would definitely go and follow and see how many different exercises you have for improving explosiveness, for jumping, for quickness, for all of these things. So I also, it leads to that second area that I wanted to talk with you, is about that all these explosive exercises and training for explosiveness. I mean, maybe explosiveness is not the right term, but everyone understands what you mean. So if somebody has not done that type of training, where would you start with that person?
Like we spoke before, okay, we still need strength on your body. Okay, let's say now vertical jump. We talk vertical jump or explosiveness, like you said, still you need the solid base of strength in your lower body to produce force, to absorb force as you're landing, not to get involved any type of injuries or something,
Yes.
as you train. So I would start with base strength and plyometrics, moving on with plyometrics. Okay, let's say not super difficult, like not super advanced, but still we need to jump to improve jumping.
Yes.
What yeah.
You mean jump to improve jumping, that you don't only train in order to improve vertical jump, you don't only do jumping, but you don't only do weight room. You do
Yes,
both to work on that.
combination of both, yeah.
Yes, and you think even though the person would like to improve quickness and first step, you would still start, or you would only be in the weight room. With the beginner, you would go only to the weight room, or you would go also on the court with the beginner player to train that.
I would say both,
You
because
would do both.
we can do that jumping part and everything, plyometrics, in the weight room as well. I mean, without any weights or whatever,
Yes.
but we can do, like, for example, power skips where you need to more plays and everything, then you move on the court. So it depends on what you are trying to do,
Yes, it's also the coordination. You mentioned power skips. So if somebody doesn't know, the power skip is that you jump off one, you land on the same leg, and then you jump after like one step, you jump off another leg with the arm swings. And funny thing is that sometimes people just struggle, like coordination wise, to do that movement. So yes, it's when you are training vertical jump, you don't only strength, you also, as you said, you need to train the skill of jumping.
That's true. That's
And do you do any tests for, let's say, for vertical jump or for first step? Like maybe you have time gates, or maybe you found some home based equipment what people could do in order to test that?
so okay, I have my vertical jump plate that I use to check, but that's for a vertical jump, itself. I don't use the speed gates, okay? But let's say from my experience, what I see, I like to see how player moves in general on the court, with some exercises on the weight room as well, to check how he moves and what he does, and
Hmm.
you can we as a coaches, I believe, okay, I'm still a young coach, but you can see some type of differences in the movement, maybe lack of something, and it's okay, not data based, but still can
Like
bring
eye
you.
based, you mean
Yes,
that you.
yes, yes, yes. So it still can bring you some valuable information moving on with further training process.
Yes, and because it's many coaches, like we both are young, we have not seen that much of the basketball or of the players moved. But Lee Taft, Mike Boyle, they talk a lot about just observe what people do. Like maybe you need to slow mo sometimes. Like when you watch the basketball game, maybe you stop and see where the legs are, where the feet are, how the defender is moving. And it's valuable for us coaches too. And when I see in your on your Instagram that when you are doing exercises on the court, you don't, not always, but usually you don't just jump up. Usually you involve some like jump, let's say forward or sideways. Maybe then you do a few steps and then maybe you jump like one leg forward, then you jump to the side, you bound. So what is the like theory behind why do you change these like different jumps and runs and so on?
What I believe is that basketball, when it comes to basketball players, it's a big chaos on the court. So I like to involve that in a bit, okay, a bit of chaos with the structure as well, but to involve a lot of different type of movement patterns on the practices, but still the approach and the main goal stays the same. For example, okay, a vertical jump or a change of direction, quickness, agility, main point stays the same.
I understand. And would you do this as a separate session, or would you do that as at the end of the warm up before going on the court?
It really depends for me for a schedule. Based on our schedule that we have, sometimes we have this opportunity to make as a separate, let's say, practice before lifting or before team practice. But most of the time, it comes to warm up before team practices, and end part of that, ending
And
part of that.
how many minutes are we talking about? How much of that jumping part would be?
It's not much because the whole warm up is like 15 to 20 minutes. It depends on what we do during the practice. So I would say 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, we do like small piece, but we do, okay, let's say 3 times per week. So it's building up, micro dosing.
Yes, yes. And 3 times per week. And let's say you have 40 weeks, so you can calculate how many minutes is like 10 minutes, 400 minutes divided by, it's like 7 hours,
That's
almost 7 hours of explosiveness or training for vertical jump or quickness. And I really like that you said it's not much, it's 3 to 4 minutes. This is what I mean. Those little things, they will add up if you want to improve your vertical jump. Maybe you go and try to dunk for 3 4 minutes just before going on the basketball court. After the warm-up, you go and do that. Or maybe you do some dribbling routine for 3 minutes, or maybe you did some form shooting for 3 minutes. And as you say, they will definitely add up.
Yes, that's true.
And you were saying that sometimes you do like focus on the vertical jump in those drills. Sometimes you do a little bit focus on the change of direction. Could you tell like examples when the drill would be more focused for vertical jump and when the drill would be more focused for lateral speed?
Yeah, so everything for me, it's based on the practices and what we do during those practices, because the main goal is still to prepare for the practice, and at the same time, okay, we develop something. So we talk with coaches before the practice, we plan the practices, and it depends what head coach is trying to achieve through every practice. And for example, let's say we have fast break drill, so we focus more on vertical, more on acceleration stuff. But if we have a shell drill or something for a defensive part, then we do more on lateral stuff.
But what would be the drill then? that you would do?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, more of change of direction because it's defensive drill. So still, the main goal is to prepare players. So I would go with that approach that is a transition, from the warm up, from physical part to preparation up to basketball. So I would go, if it's defensive drill, I would go more with lateral stuff, with change of direction. And if it's, let's say, okay, fast break, then I would go more with vertical part and acceleration part.
Okay. Yes. So then you would, when you say lateral work, so you would do more of the, when the player jumps, you would like him to set, let's say, jump a little bit more intense, with more intensity or with more repetitions laterally, right? And
That's true.
if it's vertical, so you might do some small jumps to the side, but the effort would go into jumping up.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And when it comes to weight room, and we would like to improve, let's say, either vertical jump more, I mean, it's correlated a lot, but say we want to improve more vertical jump, how that would be different compared to when we want to improve the lateral speed?
So you're talking about
Drills,
lifting.
exercises in the weight room. Yes.
So let's say, okay, I want to hear your approach as well on this, but what I believe, let's say vertical jump, okay, we do jumps, as I
Yes.
said,
Yes.
okay, we can do weighted jumps, drop jumps, plyometrics without weights. This part still, it's on the weight room, we can do that. And what I believe is to involve more quads and hamstrings, if we go for more for a vertical jump part.
Yes.
And for a lateral work, we still do this, okay, but more target is on adductors, abductors, glutes, okay, this part. And okay, that's what I believe.
Then tell some exercises that people could understand, and then I'll give also my opinion, but it will not be interesting because I believe the same. But tell us some exercises.
Okay, step ups, for example, the for your quads, let's say. And let's choose, we can do lateral lunges, side lunges. With we can do drops with knee drive,
Yes.
like different variations.
Yes, my approach is very similar. I could maybe even simplify more, but you already simplified like enough to understand. I believe the more knee motion we have, the more vertical will be.
Yeah.
If we have more of the hip, much more of the hip movement in the exercise, and it can be very little knee motion, like a hip thrust,
Yes.
or because it stays kind of constant all the time, or it can be hip and knee. So that will be still more of the first step, lateral speed, and so on. But if we have more of the knee, like a step up, you
Yeah.
like pretty, I mean, there will be also hip flexion, but the most of the weight will go to the knee. So I believe this way. So you could say quad work. I mean, you cannot simplify it this way, as I will say, but people maybe will understand. But this is black and white. Quads will be vertical jump and glutes will be a first step. And the exercises would be definitely hip thrust, single leg deadlift. These will be more for the first step.
Yeah.
So similar.
Yeah.
And the last question from this: do you somehow differentiate guards versus bigs for that type of work, or it's similar for all of them?
We have a base of exercise that we go through, but what I like to do with, especially with big guys, is to lift heavy. We can drop the reps, but to move high mass powerfully, because they getting a lot of contact and everything. They need to absorb that under the basket. So that's what I believe in. For the guards, we do general lifting and involve like we spoke some stuff, explosive stuff, or this type of exercises on the weight room as well.
Yes, yes. And what about conditioning? Just like now I'm thinking, because a couple days ago I was told by one player, he said that, like we don't do any extra conditioning and I don't think we need, I mean, this is a very broad topic, but what is your opinion about players doing conditioning in season?
What I believe is that, okay, let's go from off season up to in season. So what I believe is that on preseason, okay, off season, I don't do conditioning part, but because on the preseason, we're gonna, let's say, catch up on this. We're gonna do a lot of stuff all together on the basketball court, from the basketball wise, So we're gonna catch up. And in season, what I believe it's really depends on situation, because some of the players really needs to do that. Some of them don't, So I believe that it's like
Who needs to do? Who needs to do then? Because you said some people will need to do and some people will not. So how do you decide which player? You will not say, okay, today is Wednesday, so then everyone whose name starts with W will do will do conditioning. How do you
no,
decide?
first of all, you can see how they move and how long they move on the court, especially in the games. You can see some players are dead after 2 minutes, and they are not supposed to be dead, after a couple of minutes, for example, like a guard or something. So you can see that he lacks of this. Then you go talk with him, just okay, you don't track anything, but you just talk with him, and you find a solution between, let's say, me as a coach and the player. You go with a gently approach to them. You say, I see that you need to.
Player will be, no, I don't think I need any conditioning. You, Lucas, need to do extra conditioning. I'm good. Like,
Yeah,
it's funny because players think that conditioning is some kind of like a punishment. Okay, we use that as a punishment, like losers run. And I heard a story that Boston Celtics, once they had a like a scrimmage game, like practice game, just during the practice. And coach said, winners will run. And I thought, what a great approach. You still want to win, but if you win, you will run. But I don't know how it went, but I heard the story and I thought, like, of course, if somebody like playing defense you want to score, right? You want to score as a player, but I thought that would be good. But so you decide, you watch the game, and then you decide whether the player needs to do that or not. Or coach tells you,
yeah.
hey, especially after the loss, everyone is out of shape, and man, we didn't run well. Lucas, we need to run more.
Yeah, that's true. I heard that story too about Boston Celtics. What you said, I heard that. We spoke with coaches last week.
Hey, do it. Do it. Like, I'm very curious to, like, if somebody will do that. Very curious. If somebody has done, please let me know. I'm like super curious because what I believe is, okay, you win, you run, but their innate willingness to win, competitiveness, they will still try to win. They will still want to hit that 3-pointer. They will not be missing just because they don't want to win. No, that's why I believe such a great idea.
That's how we build dogs.
Winners win.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Okay. Okay, let's go to the last part, and the last part will have like short questions, but you can answer like as short or as long as you wish. Okay.
Okay.
So, how long did it take you to grow your Instagram followers?
I started during the COVID. So it was 2020, 2019, something like this. So
Yes, great job, great job.
5 years, 6 years.
Yes, a great job. Second question: back squats for basketball players.
Off season thing. I believe that's off season thing.
Okay. A common mistake or mistakes athletes make when they are trying to improve vertical jump or first step.
Rest periods. They want to go as fast as they can, not taking taking serious the rest period in between the sets.
Yes. And what would be the rest period you would like them to do?
Long, very long. Okay, not very long, but long. Like 1:30, 2 minutes, something like this, to keep them as fresh as they can possibly be on every single set, so they can perform at 100%.
Okay, next question. What would annoy you the most when player does? You as a coach.
Uh, I would say, yeah, I would say attitude.
What does it
Uh,
mean?
uh, if he has lack of attitude, if he
Lack of
is
attitude to what? To the weight room or to
in
basketball?
general, both. I would combine both because they are basketball players. They do what they love to do, and when you see that guy is coming, let's say super lazy or doing the stuff very very passive, so that's the big red flag for me.
Yes. One coach in this podcast, he also said, maybe episode 13, Laimonas, he said what he wants to see in every single player. He said, I want to see fire in the ice. So not in the eyes, like in the eyes of the player. So I believe this is similar, as you said, like you want to see the attitude to everything what they do. And last question, is there a piece of advice that you give to the players, either young or older, like very often?
What I like to say to them, it's to take care of your body. Doesn't matter on or off the court, whatever you do, just take care of your body in general. That's your
Yes.
main instrument, let's say. Okay, so take care of it.
Yes, it's also leads to the previous question that it's your attitude also doing things professionally.
Yeah.
Yes. So I will summarize it to three key takeaways, what I think I took from this conversation. So also for players to kind of put things into the boxes. So number one, as we talked at the beginning, that young players usually, maybe most often, they will need to do more than the older players. Those who, if you see that, let's say your favorite professional basketball player is doing maybe just light weights, or maybe the player is not going to the weight room and lifting heavy, not every single day, but maybe 2-3 times a week, which would be great. Maybe he is there and that's why he is right. Maybe he is there already, but it's not what got him there. So keep that in mind, that if you're young, you will need to do a little bit more, not only in the weight room, but on the court also. Then that you don't need to only lift weights, but as you said, we need better movers. You need to train the movement itself. Maybe you need to train the movement of crossover, of shuffle. You need to learn how to run if you want to be a great player, because that will help you to save energy. Your movement will be more efficient and you will be able to run longer. And last, definitely not least, is if you don't have that fire in your eyes, if you don't have the attitude, very likely that you will not succeed. These would be my key takeaways from the conversation.
That's true. I agree. I agree.
You said that you have to agree. Lucas, thank you very much for joining and sharing your experiences and your advices. I know that you have that big social media. You also have an app for basketball players. Please tell everyone where they could kind of find you. What would be the best way to connect with you?
Probably the best way to connect with me is through Instagram. So at Lukas Performance, you can find me there, and you will see everything there, what I have there.
Perfect. Look in the show notes. And for everyone else, thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode. This is the best way to support us. But for now, keep training basketball, body, and